We're talking all things Hattiesburg and the Pine Belt. You're tuned in to 9 a.m. edition with Michael Mergens on SuperTalk Hattiesburg 97.3.
All right, here we go. January 28th on a Wednesday. It is 9:06 and another edition of 9 a.m. edition from our studios in Oak Grove. Coming up this hour, since it's Wednesday, that means it's William Carey Wednesday. We put a focus on William Carey University. And today, Laura Lightsey, head coach of the William Carey University Cheer program, is going to join me. The squad got a silver medal last week at the 2026 UCA College Nationals in Orlando. Actually, Southern Miss was also there, quite a few colleges, so we're going to talk about that. But this was a big deal. And again, that's where we put a focus on William Carey University. But first, let's jump right into it to talk about One Night, which is happening on February 22nd at Temple Baptist Church. High school pastor at Temple, Philip Wood, and youth pastor with Venture, Jordan Walker. Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome.
Good morning. What's up?
This is awesome. This is the second year you're doing One Night. So I guess let's start off and talk about what it is and how it started.
Yeah, One Night's area-wide youth gathering, just where teenagers can come for a night and hang out and then gather for worship and under the name of Jesus.
How did this start? What was the antithesis of this, the whole idea?
Yeah, so me and Philip Wood, so he's on a mission trip to Honduras with his high school group from Temple, and then I was leading the college team to Honduras as well. And I'd never met Philip, but just heard a lot about Temple, and actually had visited Temple some and just different churches when I was in college. Yeah. And to be honest, there was always kind of an unspoken, I guess, animosity, rivalry, however you want to put it, between just kind of churches and Hattiesburg. And so anyways, I didn't know him. And we got to talking and just talking student ministry. I think, Philip, how long have you been in student ministry? How many years?
Almost 30.
30 years. So I was asking him questions, and we're getting to know one another. And man, long story short, it was like, hey, what if we came together? Like, what if we pulled some churches in the Hattiesburg, South Mississippi area together? Kind of threw some ideas out. Like, hey, is this a serve day? We want to try to get together and meet some needs in the community. And then ultimately, though, after talking to his staff and then our staff, we landed on a worship night, and One Night was birthed out of that. Just one conversation, but in Honduras on a bumpy road and on the back of a school bus.
Isn't that funny how that works?
It is.
Everything comes together. That's a good point. I think subconsciously we tend to do that with our churches. We're all one body of Christ, but we tend, whether we realize it or not, sometimes you think, well, their churches we're all against each other in a way. And like you said, kind of competing. But to do this with youth, 30 years with youth. First of all, how the heck do you do that? Because I've been asked to do stuff with youth, and I'm like, I don't understand them. I can't do it. Yeah. That's impressive.
I think that was my leading question in Honduras. How?
Right. I like to say the Lord fearfully and strangely made me. So,
yeah, that's awesome. So what is the night? What exactly happens with this?
Yeah, I'd like to say also kind of fueling the night a little bit, and you're kind of referencing this really with churches, but and then I'll answer your question. But it also, I think, comes from our teenagers are growing up in a culture that's so filled with division and anger and just hate and brokenness, and then also among teenagers, anxiety, depression, suicide's up. Yeah. I think it's all kind of interconnected, and just knowing that Jesus prayed in John 17, that the church, praying for the future church, that we would be one as he and the Father are one, so that the world may know Jesus. And so teenagers in such a need, like we all are, of peace and hope, life, and it's found in Jesus. And so all the more reason for us to come together and display that unity. And so when the world sees us together, not highlighting our differences, but highlighting what we have in common, which is the worship of Jesus, the world would be drawn to Jesus and the world. So our kids, their families, and the community as a whole, our churches, would be unified.
Yeah.
It's kind of the heart behind it.
That's awesome, and it makes so much sense, especially with this younger generation. And correct me if I'm wrong, it seems from my perspective, especially really since the pandemic, there has been an increase in youth coming to Christ with an interest. And it's easy to get, middle-aged and look at the world and see what's going on, see the news, and become bitter and jaded, and you blame it on the younger generation coming up or thinking, they're lost. This is why the world is this way. But if you open your eyes, especially within our community here in the Pine Belt, I'm noticing that. Is that something you're picking up on as well?
Yeah. I mean, statistically it's proven, but there's studies, and I think college ministry, student ministry, this generation, you've hit it, across the nation and the world. And we have a guy on our staff, Ben Wade, that says this often, but man has fallen. And man, I think the pandemic and just the reality of what we're facing with student ministry, it just proves that and shows that even more and more. Man, we really are just have a heartbeat and a vision and a mission for folks to know Jesus, like broken people gathering together to come to know, love, and follow Jesus. That's what One Night's about, and that's really what our job, our lives are about. Yeah. And but yeah, it's a dark, hard time, but I think there's definitely been a curiosity, and just kind of eyes have been open to the good news.
Talk about last year's event, since this is the second year you've done it, but last year, for being the first year, was pretty impressive.
Yeah, so going back to your other question and that question, yeah, so one night.
I'm throwing them at you.
Yeah, bro, we're going. We're doing our best here. So, yeah, it's a gathering where students will gather. They hang out over here this year, kind of in our gym area. And so tailgating games, there'll be like $5 to get you pizza and combo meal, basically, and photo booths, a DJ, and all kinds of fun. So there's the hangout piece, and then we'll just move over into the worship gathering area, and there will be a video, and then some song worship, and a sermon, and then we'll celebrate our way out. So, that's what the night looks like. And last year. Do you want to speak about last year? Or jump in.
No, I mean last year, the only thing I'd say is we hosted it at Venture at our Lincoln Road campus last year. Man, had an amazing turnout. 40 different churches represented. Wow. So we tried to do a good job of contacting local youth pastors, especially for follow up and kind of getting students information that night to point them back to their local church. And yeah, it turns out we had 40 different churches represented, and then this year though, Temple will be hosting for this year, and hoping for a lot of the same. Yeah,
so it was, I think, over 1,200 folks gathered, Wow. And I think it was about 12 churches specifically brought groups, and then there, like Jordan said, there was about 40 different churches represented. And
wow.
So some great follow up, getting those responses from the kids to their leaders in the area.
It's like a summer Bible camp, essentially, but during the winter, which makes a lot of sense because this needs to be going on all the time. But the fact that it's right here, local, and that these youth can get involved and see other youth, and probably people that they go to school with that they didn't realize, perhaps, because like you said, today's generation, these kids are seeking something bigger than they are. They realize that there's something greater than social media, greater than what the media and society is telling them they are and trying to define them. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's tough for them to wear that on their sleeve, especially being at that age. So being able to see other youth doing that, I imagine just builds them up. And I can only imagine what it's like when they're leaving the event.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of energy.
That's awesome.
And passion, so yeah.
Yeah, well, this is just such a great idea. onenight.church, you got a website, has all the details, and I'm really glad we're able to get you guys on to talk about this, because I wasn't aware of it, but I'm also not a youth, so that's why. But to get the word and people to know that it's going on, and the fact that it is open to area churches.
That's right.
It's not just between the venture and Temple, but the fact that you're opening up your facilities and this opportunity and seeing that need. Because oftentimes the biggest mission field, we go on mission trips around the world, and that's mission work. We go to other countries. One of the biggest mission fields is right in our own backyard.
That's right. Yeah. All the local schools and families in our area. Yeah.
Yeah, and on that onenight.church website, like if you're a youth pastor or a church leader hearing this, you can go to that link. There's some FAQs to read through, find out more of the specifics of the night. But then you can also RSVP your group. And that just kind of helps give us an idea of who's coming, what to be expecting, and really, food and some of the details, logistics going into the night.
Awesome. Well, this is really cool. Really excited about it. One night, it's happening Sunday, February 22nd, 5:30 p.m. at Temple Baptist Church. And again, the website, onenight.church. Philip Wood, high school pastor at Temple, and Jordan Walker, youth pastor at Venture. Thank you guys, first off, for doing this, because we need it. And I'm so glad that the response has been amazing. I can only imagine what it'll be this year. But thank you for all you do. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, appreciate you.
And 9 a.m. edition continues. More coming up. Stay with us.
AM edition with Michael Mergens. SuperTalk Hattiesburg, 97.3.
Apparently today is the 80s day on our computer here, because I noticed that. It tends to play sort of the same genre of music the same day. I don't program it. It just pops up. All right, it's Wednesday. That means it's William Carey Wednesday. This is where we put a focus on William Carey University. And today, joining me on the phone to talk about the 2026 UCA College Nationals and the William Carey University Cheer program head coach, Laura Lightsey. Good morning, Laura. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, let me first start off by saying to anyone listening, cheer is a sport. Having been in band and working with the cheerleaders, it is beyond a sport. And that was actually proven last week. The squads got a silver medal at the UCA College Nationals in Orlando. That's a big deal.
Yes, sir. It is. UCA Nationals is a huge deal all over. Everybody in the United States was watching cheer, dance, girls, guys, just putting on a show for everybody.
Well, and Southern Miss was there as well.
They were. We have lots of local talent. We have PRCC was there. Mississippi Gulf Coast was there. A lot of our community colleges in Mississippi were there. Mississippi State was there. Ole Miss was there. It's an incredible weekend with just an incredible group of athletes from all over, not even just the United States, but all over the world.
Wow. So I mentioned they got a silver medal last week in the open small co-ed game day division. But besides it being a silver medal, which that's big, this is actually the highest finish in the program's history.
Well, this was actually the first time. This is our second year as a competitive cheer team. And so this was our first time ever going to UCA Nationals. So
wow,
to go
first time, and
yes, sir.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir. So we started competing last year, and so this was we competed NAIA only last year. So this year we are continuing to compete NAIA, which is the conference that William Carey is in, but we also chose to compete at UCA Nationals. And so that's where we performed our game day routine and were able to bring home a silver medal to William Carey University.
Wow. So talk about exactly what happened and what the squad did to achieve that silver.
They worked hard. That is probably the one thing I can say. They worked hard. Being new, this is something that I am new. Game day is a new genre for me. So we were stepping in there to learn, and we did. We started this routine back in August, just kind of tweaking it, and things happened. People got sick, people got hurt. And so throughout it, obviously with all cheer programs, it is a continuous change. And so we went in that first day, had a great showing, landed in 4th place by 1/3 of a point. Whoa. And so we wanted a medal. And so they spent several hours that night looking at the judges' reviews, critiques, changing, making tweaks everywhere, and went out and took silver. So it was a great accomplishment in that we were a new team, but also that they learned and adjusted very quickly, just as they're going to have to do when they get a job after they graduate college.
See, and that's the point that people need to realize is being a part of a cheer squad or any extracurricular activity while going to college, how that can just help in the future and ability to work, and just being in radio. The people I've worked with who were in some sort of organized something while in college where they had to accomplish something, especially as a team, just makes all the difference. And it's an ongoing theme at William Carey, it seems. Correct. With all the programs, considering so many things are new at Carey, and within just a few years, they get these top rankings.
Absolutely. It is a blessing to be here. All of the coaches are so supportive of our team. We are supportive of their team. And there is that underlying of working hard to achieve the ultimate goal. However, as you were saying, it's that working hard, that work ethic. Things are going to happen, and how do you overcome that? How do you look at adversity? How do you overcome adversity and still accomplish something for the team and for other people? And so that is something that you can't teach in anything else other than an organized sport.
And it's so easy to kind of get bitter when you look at what's going on in the world and you think, wow, this younger generation, there's no work ethic. They don't want to work. Look to the athletes that are coming up, because they get it.
They do. And it's difficult. Time management. These kids, a lot of my athletes are in the medical field, in the accounting field, in business. They are in these majors that require a lot of out of class work for them and internships. And so they have to balance everything that we're asked of them. And I was speaking to someone the other day, and in cheerleading, it's probably one of the only sports where you have 2.5 minutes, you have to be perfect.
Right.
And that's a lot to ask for anybody, that you can't make a mistake, And so it is difficult. It's a lot. It's stress, and they have to learn how to cope with that and be able to figure out how to manage. And so it has been great watching these young athletes grow and change and evolve because of what they're being asked to do.
Yeah. Well, obviously it's working. We're talking to Laura Lightsey, head coach of William Carey University's cheer program. Last week, they earned silver medal at the 2026 UCA College Nationals in Orlando. And hearing that, you would think, all right, they're done for the year. Yeah, we've got basketball still going and all that. But no, really, it sounds like you're just starting.
Absolutely. So at College Nationals, UCA College Nationals, we did a game day routine, which is more of what you would do at a game, getting your crowd pepped up, all of that type of stuff. Now we head into NAIA, which for us is a traditional routine, what they would say at UCA Nationals. However, our traditional routines follow closely with an NCA, which is just another program, and the NAIA rules. So we have to fall under a different scoring system. So now we're getting geared up for that. And our first competition for that will be February 15th. Oh, wow. So we are right in the thick of, like you said, basketball games, and also these girls turning out a new routine. And so that comes with challenges, as well as the weather. So we are, once again, having to rally together and work hard as a team to make our products what William Carey, to present for William Carey.
I am still always in awe of anyone that can do these activities, accomplish what especially the cheer program has accomplished, but also have the academic side and having to do their schooling and studying and still be able to do all of this. I'm lucky if I remember to pay my water bill every month. So to be able to do all of this, and the fact that the graduation rate for the student athletes at William Carey is so high, that's something to be proud of.
Absolutely. And that's what we want. We want these kids to go and flourish in their different fields, spread their wings, and take what they've learned at William Carey, not only through athletics, but through our chapel and different things that these kids are exposed to, and that they can spread their wings and go show that light of Christ to everybody, and not just keep it here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
That's awesome. And actually that ties into my first guest today. It's the youth and the opportunities that they can take, and no matter what they're doing, to be the light. That's what we're called to
Correct.
be, and not worry about what the rest of the world is telling you should be, but just taking that opportunity. So with this being a new program and growing quickly, and obviously making such a huge impact, now I'm sure that a lot of these cheerleaders that are in high school looking to go on to college, I imagine William Carey is probably now on their map.
Absolutely, and that is one of the things we wanted to do in going to UCA Nationals, is put our name on the map and get it out to our youth of not locally but also Louisiana, Alabama, surrounding areas of William Carey has a program, and has a program that you can be proud to be a part of, and you can grow, and you can. I always tell my athletes, I'm going to take you out of your box and make you grow. And they've all done that in some way. They have evolved, and so I would love for any athlete in high school, male or female, to reach out. We are going to have some recruitment clinics coming up February 22nd and March 22nd to be able to get a offer to come cheer here at William Carey University.
Wow! So if someone wants to take part in that, what should they do?
They need to contact Laura Lightsey at William Carey University. My email is lightsey@wmcarey.edu, or they can call our school and ask them for the cheerleading coach, and I will definitely get in touch with them and reach out to them and give them the information they need to attend one or both of our clinics.
Of course, anytime you do anything, you're chosen to take over a program and accomplish something. The goal is to accomplish what you have done in a very short amount of time. But has there ever been a moment where you're like, how did we do this so quickly? How do we get here?
The team says that a lot, and to be perfectly honest with you, and it's a cliche, but a lot of this is it's a God's blessing that they've placed kids here, that I was placed here.
Yeah.
It wasn't on my radar, and here I am, and in 2 years we've built this program. But if you talk to a lot of my athletes, it's, oh man, this is not what I had planned, but I'm so glad it worked out this way. And they look back, and 2 years later they're like, I'm graduating,
yeah,
and I would have missed this, had XYZ not have occurred. And it did. And so it's been amazing to see how it's been placed in front of us to be able to accomplish what we've accomplished.
What an awesome testimony, and something we all kind of need to step back. And we're called oftentimes to do something that's out of our comfort zone, but amazing things happen when it's in God's will and His plan.
Correct.
That's obviously happening with this program. Laura Lightsey, head coach of the William Carey University Cheer program. Again, they got silver in the 2026 UCA College Nationals in Orlando last week, but more coming up as this program grows and just doing amazing things. Laura, thank you so much for taking the time out today. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a wonderful day.
You too. 9 a.m. edition continues. Stay with us.
9 a.m. edition with Michael Mergens. SuperTalk Hattiesburg, 97.3.
Talk about wearing your heart on your sleeve. Alice Cooper. He's a Christian. In fact, I always tell people about this. First off, puts on a great show. I believe he's going to be down in Pensacola. I think my wife said something about that. My daughter loves Alice Cooper. But great interview with him and Pastor Greg Laurie that's on YouTube. Look it up. Talks about his faith. His father was a pastor. But his shows are great because I love rock and roll. And I love when there's a show in the concert. I don't want to sit there and just listen to the music because I can do that at home. But when you go and there's actually a show and entertainment and it's fun and it's great for the whole family. My daughter can go to an Alice Cooper concert. My daughter loves Alice Cooper. And you don't have to worry about language or anything like that. But taking an opportunity to be the light. And he tells the story of when he surrendered again after struggling with alcohol addiction, going through rehab, talking to his pastor at the time, and he was like, well, I got to give it up. I can't be Alice Cooper anymore. And the pastor saying, why not? Consider the people that you're reaching, the places you're reaching. It's like, oh, and that's everything. That's basically the point of today's program, I guess. That was not planned. It just kind of worked out that way. And that's why let go and let God. I just let it happen the way that it does. But I do want to thank Laura Lightsey, head coach of the William Carey University Cheer program. That's phenomenal. Silver at the UCA College Nationals last week in Orlando. It's only a 2-year-old program, and they're already, this is the first year that they've been to nationals, and they accomplished that work ethic. And that's with all athletes. Talk about that all the time. That conversation comes up in interacting with former athletes who are in very prestigious positions here in our community, in the business community, who are making a huge difference. But when you see, okay, I get it, teenagers, first jobs, they haven't established a work ethic, and it gets frustrating. I'm one of them. But I also understand that, okay, it's their first job. It's the direction of who's leading them. But those, I always know when they're an athlete involved in some extracurricular activity where they're having to work as a team, I can always tell those individuals working in these jobs because they are different. They are making an impact and a difference. But to take anything that you do and be the light and be positive in what's going on in the world, please quit asking me about what's going on in Minnesota. I haven't lived there in 20-something years. It's always had a liberal mentality. Always kind of understood that. Didn't really see it when I was living there because I was a teenager and just wasn't really, early 20s. Wasn't focused on that. I was going to school, and it wasn't my biggest concern. Wasn't until moving away. Same thing with Illinois. I grew up in a unique household in Northern Illinois, in Rockford, Illinois, which is a very blue-collar, Democratic-led stronghold, along with Chicago. But I never noticed that growing up because that wasn't the house I grew up in. I grew up in a Reagan household, conservative, Christian, and it didn't matter what was going on around us. That foundation was laid at home, and that made the difference and an impact, and that has stuck with me. So to see youth, especially with this one night event, again, onenight.church is the website. If you're near your church, you'd like to have your youth attend, take part. It's 6th through 12th grade. It's going to be a Temple Baptist church. But I want to thank Philip Wood, high school pastor at Temple, and Jordan Walker, youth pastor at Venture, for, first of all, doing this, but giving these youth an opportunity to gather and see other kids their age worshiping and being involved and realizing that they can make an impact and not worried about what the world tells them. That's the problem we're running into, is the youth of this generation trying to find an identity in the world, whether it's social media, which now is really becoming cliche. Social media has been around that long now that it's cliche to say, well, they're caught up in it. And I see adults doing it too. We see these news headlines of influencers dying tragically in their 20s, early 30s. And unfortunately, a lot of them are suicides because their whole identity, they were putting their purpose in something that will disappear, that is not important, that doesn't affect one's eternity. So to see youth in our area making a difference, and I do, I get such a, I have a lot of hope in the future, seeing what's going on, because a lot of times you have to hit rock bottom as a country, as an individual, to realize exactly what it is you need, and then you start looking for truth, and Christ is truth. So it's just a great event. onenight.church, and again, congratulations to William Carey's cheer team and making that difference, being the light and accomplishing something so incredible in a very short amount of time. But that's the William Carey story. But they put all the glory on God, and that's the difference. We all need to do that and realize that everything we do, everything we have, you put your eyes and focus on God, amazing things will happen based on His will. And a lot of times it's not what we expect, but it's great things. We'll be back here next week. Until then, as always, please be safe, be kind, God bless.